Wanted to talk about in this video how to truly calculate what you're earning for profit on an item, because I think frequently people aren't calculating it properly because they don't take into account the cost of their time. Time is money, so you need to keep that in mind when you're buying items. Now, one of these is kind of abstract and the other one is very concrete, and we'll get to the concrete one at the end. So what I mean is, you're going into the thrift store or the yard sale and you find an item and you think, wow, this is fantastic. I can make some money on this. Like this TI calculator right here, okay? Got this at Goodwill, cost me 10 bucks. It'll sell for about 25 maybe. So there's about a $15 there minus eBay fees. You're looking at maybe $20 to $22 in profit. And that's so I finished shooting that and realized that I lost my mind there. Selling that calculator for $25 is not going to be like a $20 profit. It's going to be more like 10. 25 minus the 10 is 15 minus eBay fees, call it 5, maybe $10 profit. I don't know what I was thinking. Profit, and that sounds really well and good. But the thing that you won't necessarily think about is how much time are you going to spend getting this ready to list? You already know how much time you spend listing items, but I got to test this. I might have to clean it up because sometimes these will have stickers on the back, or they'll take paint pens and write all over them. And this one is in good shape, so it only took me, I timed myself, testing it with batteries and making sure everything was okay, just a little bit over 2 minutes. So that's not so bad. That's pretty easy. That's really almost negligible, isn't it? Okay, so there's one item. But let's take a look at another one here. Got this DVD VCR combo that I just listed. It's a Magnavox. Now this dude's a little different. Not only might I have to clean it up, I have to test it, which means I have to connect it to a television, plug all the cables in, plug them all in here, get out the disc for the test of the DVD, get out the tape to test the VHS size, run it, go back and forth, pause, fast forward, all of that, just to make sure the item works. And then on top of that, this had some marks across the front, and I used some 409 to clean them off. But it took me about 30 minutes to do all of that. So now this will go for I think it'll go for 90, and I paid 15. So there's $75, right? Less fees, maybe we're looking at 50 bucks in profit, 50, 55. But I spent 30 minutes futzing with it. That doesn't include listing, that's just testing and cleaning it. And if I value myself at, say, 50 bucks an hour, right? So that was about $25. So now my $50 profit turns into a $25 profit. It's one way of looking at it, right? Is what's your time worth to you? And you might say to me, Eric, my time is not worth anything because I think it's a hobby and I think the whole process is amazingly fun. Okay, I will accept that. But there's a concrete way that this can cost you money when you have to test something and it's going to be involved, or you have to really clean it up. Like if you've got a stereo receiver that requires a ton of testing, or you've got a train set that is going to require a lot of setting up and testing, right? I bought this dude. Here's the thing. There's an inertia that we have as humans. I bought that almost 2 months ago, and I paid $20 for it. And because it's so involved to test, I haven't wanted to. I haven't made that conscious decision. I just haven't, because I know that it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt. So I spent $20 and it's just been sitting in the garage as a concrete cost. So I think the takeaway is when you're looking at an item, like, oh my gosh, this can make so much money. If it's like a printer where you're gonna have to test it and switch out inks and clean it up a little bit, are you really gonna do that? That's a question I think you need to ask yourself sometimes before you buy something, and just leave it. And in fact, I did this just here yesterday. This is with the inspiration for this video. I'm at Goodwill and there is an elliptical there, and it looks like I could sell it on Facebook for maybe 400, at least 300 bucks, and they only want 20. It's a screaming deal. And I asked them, they said they tested it and that it turns on, but that's it. So I go, this is great. I can make a couple $100 on this easily on Facebook Marketplace. Then I got to thinking about it. I don't have a truck, so now I've got to buy it, and I have 24 hours to get it home. I got to get a truck from somebody, or go to Lowe's or Home Depot or U-Haul or rent a truck, and then I got to take the time to go over there and spend the time loading it up, and then to spend the time driving it home and unloading it and sticking it in the garage, and it's enormous. And then I have to really test it, like test all the sensors, test all the functions, test it backwards and forward. It's probably going to take half an hour or more just to test it. And then I've got to list it, and then I've got to have somebody come over that's interested in it. Somebody will stand me up, because that's how Facebook is. And then they've got to test it to make sure they're okay. So there's probably an hour there just in the people coming and checking it out and standing me up move. So I'm like, this is so much work. I just decided it wasn't worth it. And I don't know if you'd make the same decision to be able to make that kind of money. Would you? I mean, let me know in the comments. What do you think? Would you have taken all the effort on that? I mean, I have for big items before, but this time I was just like, no. And that was the genesis for this video. So just, my light went out. I'll wrap it up at that point. It's just to think about, how much effort are you going to put in that item? Put a value on your time and calculate that to see what your true profit is. So until next time, happy thrifting.